Hey, you. What's going on, everybody? It's been a long time since I've wanted to put my opinions out there to you guys. Hopefully, you guys have all been well. Uh, as as pandemic has calmed down, we all getting back to our lives. There's still a little bit of waves going in and out, but the new variants are not as dangerous. So it looks like we finally have hit the finish line when it comes to this pandemic. So it's bedtime. I put myself back out there. I've been really slacking for the last few years. I haven't really been doing stand-up comedy. I've been more focused on my animation show. I've been doing countdown shows. So as a comedian, you try and bounce around, seeing what you can do. There's other things I'm working on right now. I'm working on a book. I can't wait to get back into hopefully doing some stand-up comedy. Now, the thing with me, if you know me very well, I I seem to just have an act for just pissing off people, and unfortunately, that goes with my stand-up comedy, where I have too many opinions. Okay, I'm I'm like a Des Bryant. I'm at Chad Ochocinco. One of those emotional drama queens, and sometimes like Antonio Brown. If he doesn't like something, he'll throw a fit and then he'll leave. That is the situation with me when it comes to stand-up comedy. Whenever I watch a comedy act, as a person that's gone through comedy classes and just tried to do so much effort to just try and get stage time, I just I have to speak up every now and then, and it gets me in trouble a lot. I'm in a situation where basically, I don't. Sometimes people don't think I talk a lot, and people find me weird. And the times that I do talk, I seem to piss off people. So for me, it's basically been a lose-lose situation when it comes to just giving my opinions. And I think we need to stop doing that, people. And we live in North America, and we should have likes and dislikes. Some people sometimes, like myself, will take jabs as a comedian. I'll go a little bit under the belt, as what people would probably define it, and then people try to get me canceled. Cancel culture. When I call out a popular individual and they sick their fandom on me and try and get me canceled. So it's just everybody's so opinionated these days. I'm going to make sure that if anybody tries to cancel me, I have an attorney. So or a lawyer, not an attorney. A lawyer is probably the word. But it's a situation where sometimes when I talk too much, it gets me in trouble. So that is kind of why you haven't seen me do stand-up comedy for the last few years, because I seem to have pissed off the bookers. So the only way that I can probably get stage time right now near Vancouver would be to make my own comedy shows, which I'm actually thinking about doing. There's just I go on sometimes Facebook, and some of the bookers that I've known for years in comedy, they get exhausted, right? There's other people that step up every now and then. So maybe that's what I have to do is now that the whole pandemic thing has finally calmed down, I need to start my own comedy shows. I think that would be a good start. But I've been ranting on for a while now. There's just so much that I have to get off my mind. There's so many topics I need to get into. This weekend, if you guys were not part of, was Wrestlemania Weekend, and holy shit, what a fucking long weekend that was for me. So we started off, I think, on Friday night with Ring of Honor, which is now owned by Tony Khan. It's basically the McMahons versus the Khan family now when it comes to wrestling. It's Khan. This make it very, very strange how Tony Khan. When they first started up, they didn't really have much to play around with, and now he's just doing the WCW thing of just signing everybody and everything. It's like he's made of money all of a sudden. But it's good. I've always been a fan of Ring of Honor. It's good that they're still around. And that's what happens a lot with these indie companies, is because they just financially can't do stuff. That's happens with trends. Arizona Punch Tea. I don't know if they went bankrupt or not, but they're one of the cheapest out there. And they can't afford to run things the way they can. Jesus, there's social media. We'll talk about Vine. Okay, Vine was very popular on social media, and they just couldn't afford to run it anymore. And that's that's how it goes. Is if you don't have money, you can't do stuff. And I think that's something I've learned myself, is just being an independent guy, doing the independent circuit. It's really it's tough on yourself because you have to do everything on your own. You don't have one of those major companies paying for everything. So, anyways, let's get back to Ring of Honor. I watched the card. I enjoyed it. Main event was Jonathan Gresham going against Bandito. There was a lot of Bandito fans. Bandito is a very liked luchador wrestler. Jonathan Gresham, he's been around for a long time. The only thing with Jonathan Gresham is he's small. Okay, you put him next. They were doing interviews with some of the Josh Woods. Okay, and then Trent Titus or Rhett Titus, I think is his name. And then Jonathan Gresham's next there, and he's like half their size. And he's the world heavyweight champion. I understand him and Jordan Grace, they lift a lot of weights. And he's a very good wrestler and everything, but he's very small. I'll just put it there. I'm 6'3". I look down on him, and I see him as like Floyd Mayweather, a little dude that's really strong. Okay. Don't take this as an insult if Jonathan Gresham or Jordan Grace comes around and tries to cancel culture me. I'm just giving my opinions. That was a fun main event. Jay Lethal turned heel. He was against Lee Moriarty, who is from AEW, and it was one hell of a match. And then basically, what happened is Lee Moriarty tried going under the ropes to try and get a rope break. And in the meantime, he lifted up the ring apron. Okay, so that means he got dragged, and the ring apron had to be reset. So the ref was distracted with putting the ring apron back in place. And when that happened, Jay Lethal, a huge low blow, just gets all of it. That's what the commentators were saying. I think I was Ian Riccaboni. that said that. He got all of it. And the ref didn't see. Jay Lethal wins with a lethal injection after. And so there is the heel turn for Jay Lethal. Obviously, he doesn't need to be a face because there's so many out there right now when it comes to AEW and now Ring of Honor. Lethal now going into this new era can lead the charge as a heel for Ring of Honor. Makes perfect sense, even though he's signed to AEW. All right. So what else? Did anything else really stick out for me at Ring of Honor? Just fun matches. Mercedes Martinez is now the interim women's champion for Ring of Honor. She's going to be going against Niana Purrazzo in the future for the title. So that should be fun. Anything else that just sticks out? The pure wrestling match that they had with Josh Woods and Wheeler Yuta. Here's the thing. I know it's great. It's good wrestling and everything. It's very technical. But it didn't seem the crowd was too much into the match. You know, the pure wrestling moves, it's a nice little dish and everything like that, but it doesn't really sometimes get the fans going. And not until the end, when Wheeler Yuta pulled out some of his moves that he learned from Daniel Bryan and just was friggin' using the elbows like what Daniel Bryan does until your opponent's unconscious. So that's what Wheeler Yuta did. Is he consistently used the elbows towards the body of Josh Woods until he's unconscious, rolls him up, and then gets the pin. So Wheeler Yuta is your new pure ROH champion. Or, I don't know, pure wrestling champion. I don't know what it's called. Either way, congratulations. It's just there's got to be a way of getting it more entertaining, like Silas Young did. Where the hell is Silas Young? I don't know where he is, but he was one of my favorite wrestlers for Ring of Honor back in the day. Don't know where he is now. Okay, so then WrestleMania. Obviously, we have to get into that, but first I got to give my thoughts about the new WWE 2K22 game. I bought it at full price, $80. A little expensive, but it's best wrestling game that they've come out in years when it comes to WWE. They put so much more effort into this game than they have in previous years. The career mode, which is called My Rise, they added voices. So you can actually hear the actors instead of just reading text throughout the entire thing. That's one thing that really pissed me off. Is just when you make millions as a company and all you do for a storyline is just text and not even afford to bring in voice actors or anything, you're pathetic. You are just a money-making, scamming piece of shit human being. So I'm glad that WWE stepped up and fixed whatever was going on with the 2K games, because now there's voice acting. Oh my God, you can go through 12-hour days of either being on NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. It will take you a full day to get through those storylines, people. I will say the NXT storylines are fantastic. I really enjoyed them. I have yet to go through the women's storylines, but I'm hoping they're probably just as entertaining as the men's ones were. It's the gameplay is very easy, except for the reversals can be a pain in the ass at times, because sometimes you got Brock Lesnar going against you. The reversal button's not even showing up, and they're just beating the shit out of you. So that's probably the one thing. The My GM mode that everybody was so excited for, it was a little bit of a letdown. They've only basically you can either have a 1-on-1, a 2-on-2 match. That's it. You can't have anything else as a general manager. You can't Sometimes you can do Extreme Rules matches. You can do Hell in the Cells. That's it. I wish there was more options available for the My GM mode. I can already tell you my Rise is just way more fun. They got the little super card thing there. I don't know. It's dumb. Don't get into the card game, okay? That's where you lose money because you got to buy packs and everything like that. Don't bother, okay? What else was there? The My Universe mode still has some bugs that need to be fixed in the game. I tried using my Universal mode to have custom matches, and basically it completely bugs, and my PlayStation was freezing every time I tried starting the match. So it's still got some bugs that need to be fixed. It's not a perfect game, but it's much better than the previous wrestling games. The camera work that they did for the intros is fantastic. I love it. The different styles. Even the commentary. They put a lot more commentary into this one, I feel. It's just, I would personally give it a 7 out of 10. Maybe even 7.5 out of 10. It still has its flaws. And it could be fixed. Like I tried doing the online thing with online people. That's not working very well. So that needs to be fixed a little bit too. Other than that, it is a great wrestling game, and I highly recommend if you can get it, go get it because they finally have fixed some problems. And it's probably the only wrestling game we're going to get until AEW in the next year or so. That is the game I'm going to be looking forward to the most because they're probably going to put a lot of effort into that one for their first game. And especially if they're teamed up with Yuks. Ukes. I don't know. Yucks. That's a comedy show out here in Canada. Yucks comedy show. But yeah, go get it if you guys can afford it. If not, just wait till a big sale goes on and then grab it and then beat the shit out of people with stairs, with hockey sticks, anything that your heart desires. All right, so that's the review for that one. Let's go into Wrestlemania. Okay. Day one. I fell asleep after the Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch match because I thought that was I thought that was the final match. I did not realize when I woke up after that there was almost like 3 hours of footage that I haven't seen. So that goes to show how long WrestleMania was. And that was only day one. Because what they had, Randy Orton, Riddle, I'm not sure if that was day two or not. I can just tell you right now what I can remember from day one. The Bianca Belair Becky Lynch match was fantastic. It really made Becky into like a very different look where it looks like it looks like she just had a bad hair day almost. Some people dig it. Her makeup, I think it was purposely made to look like she was falling apart almost. So that was it was a great match. Loved it. And then after that, I fell asleep. And then I woke up and realized I missed 2 to 3 hours of more WrestleMania. What else was there? There was the Stone Cold Steve Austin came back against Kevin Owens, and it was fun. Kevin Owens is just great. He's great. And remember, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin that gave him the stunner, so he was one of his role models and everything. It was a great little ending. Stone Cold, I think, is like 58, and he had a no holds barred match with Kevin Owens, where you could tell Steve is old. His walking is a little bit slow. He's he put on a great match though for a 58-year-old, where there was just, I think the one big move that he took was a suplex on the outside to the pavement in the crowd. That was probably the one big spot that probably hurt him. But in the end, Stone Cold Steve Austin defies everybody and wins his final match in Dallas. And what a send-off. You know, he went through, I think, 30 beers. But here's the thing. He completely misses almost. Or he doesn't drink him. He just, he just pours it on his face with all the foam coming out after. I think he went through at least 30 beers, and I think maybe he only drank not even 1/3 of a beer can. And that's the bottom line, because I say so. Anyways, hopefully I don't get copyrighted for WWE for that one. But day 2, nothing really stuck out to me. There was obviously the main event was Universal Championship versus WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I found the match boring. I think I did a survey, and 75% of you said that the match was boring as well. Very slow, methodic, and it's just obviously that's what you're going to get when it comes to Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns matches. It's just big moves, very slow and methodical. Pat McAfee, Austin Theory was a total shit show. Very, very strange how Pat McAfee basically had to, after he beat Austin Theory, Vince McMahon decides that he wants a match against him, and Vince cannot fucking move. Like, seriously. He's walking around like a fucking penguin, you know? Or if Tamaki Homa for New Japan, you know, one of those guys that just like waddles instead of walking. Those big jack guys, they penguin walk instead of actual walking, because they like to show off their big muscles and everything like that. It was Vince McMahon. Good to see him back in the ring, but he was fucking terrible, and it made no sense. The ending was awful. Literally, he takes a football and boots it in Pat McAfee's chest and then pins him. That's the finish. That is pathetic. That is just so dumb. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin came out and stunnered Vince McMahon. Fucking. Stone Cold boots it, you know, he boots him before he gives him the latest boot in the stomach. Vince gets rocked on the ropes. It's the worst. It was the worst stunner I've seen in a long time. And Stone Cold is just laughing his ass off after him because he knows it was just terrible. But it was his weekend. If anybody probably had the best time of their lives, it's probably Stone Cold. And good on him. Now here's the thing also with The Undertaker. Undertaker went to the Hall of Fame this weekend, had a big long speech, and then he puts back on his coat and hat and says, "Never say never." So, does that mean with the right price, The Undertaker can come back at any time? And he's not done. But I think at this point you only just want to see him with cameos. Maybe WrestleMania cameos or something like that. That's about it. Because I think his time is done. And it's good. It was fun. But you could tell that Undertaker's body years ago when he was against Brock Lesnar. He wasn't in shape or anything like that. So I just it'll be nice to know that Undertaker will be around for a cameo now and then. Anything else I could take away from WrestleMania? It was a good show. It wasn't one of my favorite WrestleManias. It had good matches. The Randy Orton Riddle match, that was fun. Now Gable Stevenson. This guy's got to go to NXT because this guy's absolutely brainless when it comes to where the hell acting is and camera wise. I don't think he wants to act. I think he just wants to be a clueless individual because that's what I get watching Gable Stevenson. He just looked like a person that was lost out of place. That's it. He needs to go to NXT and learn everything about cameras, face expressions, everything like that. Because to me, this guy's just basically he's going to be a really good wrestler with absolutely no personality whatsoever. So they got to fix that with Gable Stevenson. Even though I got drafted to Raw and he hasn't even been on. But I think the plan was for him to come in after WrestleMania anyways. But this guy's got to get some personality or some charisma or something because watching him, he looked brainless at WrestleMania. That's about all I can say for the weekend for WrestleMania. The only other thing I can probably mention to you guys right now is the Moonknight series for Disney has just been released not too long ago. I just got done watching the first episode, even though it came out last week. It's a very very interesting premiere for the first episode, and the purpose of the Moonknight character, he's got multiple personalities. Okay, so there's one character that the character that you start off with the show, he's very nervous British, and he's in a museum, but he's not a tour guide. He's just one of those inventory guys, but he just loves the knowledge. But from time to time, he slips into a different personality, and then he'll wake up out of it, and that other personality is Moonknight. And he doesn't realize what he's done as Moonknight because he doesn't remember from his other personality. So the storyline, it's very intriguing to get into because you don't really know what is going on really. At the end of the first episode, I'm already intrigued and going to be watching the next one. So it looks fun. I would give the first episode a 7. That seems about fair. It's watchable and it keeps you interested, right? So you already want to know what's going on in the next episode. So it's a different different superhero, but it's gonna be interesting to watch. Other than that, that's all I've really got on the table for today for Coop's Corner. I guess that's what we're going to be calling this. So thanks everybody for joining, and I'm going to try and do this once a week just to sit down with you guys and give my thoughts throughout the week about stuff. NFL news, obviously the draft is coming up. There's been so many trades going back and forth, so many new places. Russell Wilson is no longer a Seahawk. Oh, that's going to suck for fans out here because he was the heart and soul of the Seahawks. And he wanted a new start. He wanted to make some money. And that offensive line for the Seahawks is just terrible. So I can understand. But the Broncos' offensive line is not that good either. So it's kind of in a loss-loss situation. We'll be around for the draft on April 27th, I believe it's a draft. Could be the 24th. Could be wrong. It's just one of those dates. I'll be around for it if anybody wants to watch the draft. But I think that does it for me. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time just to tune in and listen to my thoughts. And, well, we'll see how this goes. And if people like it, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much.